Hi, guys, and welcome to another episode of the Record Drums Online podcast, the podcast where I get to chat to session drummers, producers, mixing and mastering engineers. And in this episode, I had the chance of interviewing French session drummer Florian Gouello. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing his name well. But yeah, Florian, if you don't know him, is one of the top session guys in France. He worked with Julian More, who's like the biggest pop name in French music. He toured for years, and then now he's based in LA. He's been living there, I think, for the past year and a half or so, and he's doing really well. So if you don't know, Florian he's got like an amazing, huge library of drum samples and loop packs. You should definitely check out those because they're like top quality. And in this episode, we just talk about how to create loop packs, how to mix and process drums, how to tune drums. He's very obsessed about tuning drums, and so he tells us a little bit how to go about that. And so just before I introduce this episode, just please make sure that you guys subscribe to the channel if you can. It'll be a massive help. This channel it's just me, really. I just do the editing, I just do the interviews and everything, and I really do it because I love it. Like I love chatting to these people. But if you want to help a little bit the channel, if you want to help a little bit this podcast to keep growing, just subscribing will be the best. So yeah, without further ado, please welcome Florian Gouello. There we go, mate.
Thanks for having me.
Oh man, no, thank you for sharing your time, and we finally made it. I was like, let's hope he says yes. Let's hope he has a bit of time. But
of course.
yeah.
I mean, Alex told me about you, and also I checked out like the videos and everything. And Alex Ofken, like from Germany, is a good friend, and big fan of his work as well. And he told me like, oh, you should be in touch with Chris, and so yeah, it's my pleasure.
That's very kind, man. That's very kind. Yeah, Alex is a great guy. Absolutely, man. Yeah. So, are you in LA right now or in France?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm in LA.
Nice.
Weather's nice. Everything is.
Yeah, I'm sure. Like none of that like weather. I mean, in France, I have to say, like you're from the south of France, right?
So yeah, I grew up in south of France, and it's like the weather is pretty similar than compared to like here. It's more windy where I grew up. Grew up like close to like Spain by the Mediterranean Sea.
Oh,
so not like the French Riviera and everything, but like more in the south. But yeah.
Oh man, that's awesome. Yes, man. And now you're in LA, man. Yeah, that's pretty amazing. Like Alex was telling me a little bit how you kind of decided to go to LA and all that, but I want to, of course, leave this to you, and just if you could give us like your background story on how you started playing music and just got to LA all the way.
Well, it's a pretty long journey. So I grew up in this like small village in south of France. Like it's like 2,000 inhabitants, like very small. Nothing going on musically. Honestly, like it was like pretty dead. Like unfortunately, like so the culture is great there. There was a lot of wine, like rugby, great food, but like what's like everything about music and everything, it's not really like it's a bit dead there. So I just spend a lot of time like practicing drums and like trying to like meet musicians and as soon as I could. So I'm forwarding already a little bit, but like after high school, I moved to Paris. Did a jazz school there for 3 years. Jazz is not my it's not that it's not my thing, but it's not. I grew up like listening to metal, like double bass, like that type of music. So it was like really opened my mind. Studied 3 years there in this school, like a school called Centre de Musique Didier Lockwood School. Like he's a jazz violinist. Amazing school, very good spirit. There's something like very important, like to me, and also how grow as a musician, but also the how you interact with other people and the spirit you share with other people. Like it's not competition. It's it's this really helps like connect with
Yeah.
people and experience music in a way at least that it makes sense for me. And went to Brazil, spent 6 months there when I was 19. Like it was an exchange in a school in São Paulo within the 3 years in this jazz school. And then I just started touring with different projects in France. I
Was it? Sorry, was
almost,
it in Brazil? Was in
yeah,
Brazil still? Were you still studying jazz, or was it just Brazilian music? I
yeah,
guess.
more
Or
like Brazilian music.
mm,
It's funny because so I didn't have like I was staying in a place with a guy from São Paulo. He didn't have internet. I was disconnected totally, and everything. It was great. So when I was getting back home, I was also like pretty broke. I lost my credit card there. So I was like,
ah,
kind of like my best friend was with me, staying in another spot. We kind of like, but it was interesting because I was a little bit broke, but I was every night studying Ableton Live. That's where I really got into Ableton
wow.
and like looking at tutorials, like uh, just a bunch of different stuff, like watching documentaries about the Beatles for the first time because I never got really into the Beatles before that time. Watching EDM
Mm.
music production tutorials, which actually pretty helped me. We can talk about it after and everything, but like in the way I approach things sometimes.
Yeah.
And watching imaginary landscapes, like a documentary with Brian Eno, like just like very intense, like focus phase. And so I studied also like Brazilian music there, jazz, and it was amazing life experience. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. That's
So,
awesome, man.
and
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
when I came back to the music school, like so everyone was very different in the school. It was also pretty like a small music school. Like we were like maybe three or four per year, like per instruments. So it was very like um, yeah. And I was always like super passionate about like drum sounds. How do you tune drums? Always asking, like it's almost like my friends thought it was like annoying because they're like, stop asking the same questions. Like it's always like trying to find out, like how do you something about sound. And
Yeah.
yeah, and then so when I finished the school, I so along the way I had like studio experiences and recordings. Like my first studio recording, I was like 14 in a studio in south of France. We won with like one of the bands that I was in, like a sort of like contest. And so it started early, the recording obsession.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
um and so in Paris started like playing with different projects, from like stoner band to indie pop, like having a lot of different experiences, doing studio, doing live, starting to MD projects as well, using Ableton Live skills and everything, and just like trying to bridge the knowledge that I had with like recording drums with production, and how to
Mm.
adapt that for the live stuff so that
Yeah.
it doesn't sound like in context. For example, I was MDing a rapper called Giorgio in France, and I didn't want it to sound like a drummer playing on a bunch of like backing tracks and like just
Mm.
like the album. So I really wanted to merge, like um, do something like special for the live set, whatever. So
Nice.
yeah, and just a lot of touring. After
Yeah.
COVID, I really I had I burned out. I wanted to stop music.
Oh
I
wow.
needed a change in my life. Yeah, I was super. I don't know. I didn't have like a lot of like drive anymore. I also like. I think that this must happen to a lot of people as well when you reach like. Uh, I I fulfilled my dreams. I was making a living of music. Played uh, like the festivals of my dreams in France, and was like, oh, what's next? And I considered moving to Berlin because I wanted a change of, just open a little
Yeah.
bit more. Like Paris is great, amazing music in France. So many like talented people and everything. It's also like a small city, and the layout of the city and everything wasn't really for me. So
Mm.
I wanted a change. So considered moving to Berlin, then had planned to come to LA for the first time, but was canceled because of COVID. So
Uh, yeah,
there were a few months like a lockdown and everything, and I moved back to my parents' place in south of France, and they have like some space. So there we built a studio, and
mm.
from there, then I was like, oh, it's the end of the world. Nothing's gonna happen. It's never gonna tour again. And I was like, no problem. I'm gonna just like lock in and
Yeah,
experiment with recording. So that's where I started, just like honestly, like a kid, like messing around, being
yeah,
very, I mean, having
obsessed.
fun with like,
Mm.
yeah, with sounds, do crazy stuff, put mics in like weird positions. I was very inspired, like
Yeah,
very focused, and it's awesome when you can like make space in your life to just like mess around with
yeah,
stuff,
yeah,
and I still get like a lot of some of like the drum packs that I made, or I, there's some stuff that happened in this moment of my life that I'll still feel I have some feedback from, like
mm.
so it's like
Sure.
a
Yeah,
bit
yeah, yeah,
like
yeah. Goes back. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
focus, and
But by this time you were kind of like transitioning, right? So like going from touring to to getting like, because when you were touring, I guess you were more like focused on just the live aspect, I guess. And then, I mean, when I say, you just you liked both at the same time, but you were kind of like, okay, I need to tour with this guy or this artist, and kind of, like
yeah.
as you were saying, using Ableton Live and all that, and just, I guess when everything when there was the lockdown, you focused even more on just like production and right,
Yeah,
like
because it
just
started for me. I didn't have the confidence to think that I could make a living uh, of something else than touring. It sounds weird,
mm,
but I
mm,
felt like a scenario where I could make a living only from recording drums wasn't possible for me at that time, I realized.
sure,
And it's also like the whole like thing of like recording remotely and everything. I feel like you have to create the opportunities by, it didn't happen because like people absolutely needed drums. I had to like
yeah,
post videos, do the drum loops packs, and then like people were like, oh, I can ask him to do this. So it's like kind of have
mm,
to like create your own opportunity with it, which happened. And also I got like more confident with like also delivering like like drum sounds that are already processed and everything, which I
yeah,
wasn't, I was like, no, I shouldn't do that. They're always gonna do it better than me, and
mm.
that's not always the case. So it really
Definitely
encouraged
not
me,
now,
and
man. Now, definitely not,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
Like when I hear your drum packs, I'm like, oh my god, it's insane,
Thank
man.
you,
It's so good, so good. Yeah, 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 yeah. That's
thank
awesome.
you,
So
man.
you
Um,
when you were doing this stuff, when you back in France, you were already releasing drum packs, drum loop
so actually, no. So there's something missing in the whole
in the
thing.
story.
So
Yeah,
I built this. Yeah, I built the studio with my father, and started like going in this journey of like building the studio. And then I got a call from A&R in France for a touring gig with Julien Doré, which is, you probably wouldn't know,
Ma-
but so
it's
he's like
famous.
one of
Yeah, yeah.
the,
It's
yeah,
massive.
the biggest like pop guy in France. And yeah, I was like, oh, this is, we toured like arenas. It was awesome. It was another step in my dream of like, as a musician and everything. So I played on this tour. It was an amazing experience, but also I could see that it wouldn't, very quickly. I was like, this is not going to sustain my excitement. I need something complementary to that. So I also like, there's always like a thin line. I know Alex also has that, where you like overwork, you always want to do like too much stuff. So for me, touring was like great. We're in a tour bus. We have amazing like conditions. It's great. I don't have to like have a backliner, everything. So when I get home on my days off, I'm going to work in my studio. And like ultimately, I was a little bit like burned out again, because I was like, no, I gotta rest. But I had a lot of, my drive was really like getting home and like doing recordings and everything.
Yeah.
So, and during this tour, I came to LA for the first time, spent 2 weeks, loved it. Did some, met some people like in the studio world and was very excited. Loved the mentality, like just it was less cerebral than what I
Mm.
experienced in Paris, and like the people I work with before, more like spontaneous, like with recording and everything. I can talk more about it later if you want, but and so when I came back to France, I was like, I gotta get back to LA, like at least for a month, figure out if there are if I can move there, if I can meet some
Yeah.
people, just like,
Yeah, if it wasn't just a
uh,
phase, like probably, you were on tour, you were like, oh, maybe this is just a phase, so it's
yeah,
better to go
it's
back
easy
for a
to go
longer
back.
period. Mm-mm.
It's easy to go back to what you used to as well. For example, when I went back for like from these 2 weeks, I was like, okay, I'm gonna book 1 month in LA, but then I kind of got back and like the touring thing and everything, and then I got back to LA and I was like, oh, this is amazing. So you gotta remember how you feel sometimes, like
Mm.
it's like friendships or relationships, like it's a gut
Yeah.
feeling, and you need to remember sometimes what you follow that, I think. And when I so this month I spent in LA, I really had a lot of encouragement actually from people. The encouragement for some of the important things that I've experienced didn't come necessarily from my closest friends in France, but more like from people here, thinking like, "Oh,
Mm.
I want to write to your drum loops. You should, oh, this is a sick beat. You should make a drum loop pack, like release it." I was like, "Oh, okay," and it gave me confidence. That's when I started doing the drum loops packs,
I see.
and then I came back to France, started working on my visa. The tour ended with Julien Doré. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna push the drum loop packs thing because it's creative. It's just like putting my work out there, and also it creates opportunities. Like people, you know, it's a good way for people to know my work, not only as a drummer but also as a producer, engineer,
Producer, yeah.
mixer, I don't know,
Sure. Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah, yeah, yeah.
more like creative and everything. That's yeah.
Nice,
And
man.
then I
Wow.
moved to LA.
And then you were like, you know what? Time to go. Time to go to LA and just make this
Yeah.
happen. Great.
It was
Nice.
I was very focused on this idea,
Yeah.
and yeah,
What year did you move?
I moved 2023,
2023. Man,
August 2023. So
you are the fastest fastest that I because I know lots of musicians, they move to LA and everyone tells me, man, at least 5 years. You know, it takes you about 5 years to actually start getting into to knowing the people and just getting to the network that will
yeah,
give you work. And man, it's unbelievable. Yeah, you just went like not even 2 years ago, and you smashing it
yeah.
already. Like I was looking
Thank you,
at
man. Well,
all the loop packs that you released, and it's incredible. Did you release them all in it? Like, did you record them all in LA, or was it a little bit in France and
no,
a little bit? Okay, okay,
no, no, no. Some of them I recorded. Some of like my first drum loop packs, they started from sessions I worked on, like remote sessions, and I was like, oh, this is a really cool drum sound. And usually what I used to do is when I was excited about drum sound that I would get for a session, I would just like post videos on
mm,
Instagram, and then I was like, okay, if it sounds good, maybe I just like record like 15 minutes at 3 or 4 different tempos,
yeah, yeah,
and then the trouble starts because it's always like editing the loops that takes the most time.
yeah.
But yeah, that's how I started like doing the packs. I then also started thinking about doing collaborations with studio because in my head I was like, if I go to a commercial studio, to a studio that I love, it's gonna be 10 times better.
Yeah,
It's different. It's
yeah.
different, and but I was like, oh, and then we could like shoot some videos and everything. So I've done like few collaborations with studio White Bat Recorders, which is a sick studio in a barn in France, full analog. Did like 3 packs, yeah, 3 packs there. I'm about
Nice.
to release another. These were recorded like 2 years ago already. CBE studio, which is like an iconic studio in Paris. But I was like, at this time, I was like, oh, what if we do a drum loop stack like mixed in Atmos. Like I was like going crazy, always like so many ideas, and
Yeah.
some of them don't make sense or like don't make it, but it's fine.
No, but yeah, you have like you try to have as many ideas as possible to make it happen. But what I wanted to ask you is like, let's say I'm a drummer that wants to start recording loop packs. Okay,
Yeah.
what? Because I know lots of drummers. They sometimes they go like, hey man, I released a few loop packs, but again, like I did it myself in my studio. And what would you recommend? What's a good starting point, like in terms of you want to record something, just to have your own loop pack? What would you recommend?
I think it's gonna sound a little bit like, I think before thinking of doing the sample pack, I think excitement, like just like mess around with sounds. Because if you already start to think about doing a drum loops pack that you're gonna sell, there are so many like bias that can come across your mind, being like, oh, it has to be recorded with at least like an expensive mic, or has to be mixed a certain way and everything. And like you already try to like polish things in your head and being like, oh, I have a shitty XLR from my kick drum mic, like this is not proper. I shouldn't like start the process of making a drum loops pack with this shitty I don't know,
Yeah,
like don't think about that, like go crazy with sounds. I mean, go crazy, because I feel like there are already like so many great loops on the internet and
mm,
everything. Like I feel like what's gonna excite people, it's eventually something that I haven't heard before, a new approach to
mm,
something. And the better way, the best way to get there is just like to get excited and do something like like I don't know. And then because once you have it mixed already, you can record in the same session and at a few different tempos, and then you make a drum loop packs and sound
yeah,
sick. And but
nice.
yeah, I
Yeah,
hope
yeah,
this
no, no,
is
no,
a useful answer.
that's perfect. Yeah, yeah,
It's
for
the
sure, for sure.
approach. It's,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah. And
you're
and
not a
when
brand. I mean, yeah. Sorry,
no, 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 no. But
I'm
I
not a
wanted to ask you
company.
because yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, because exactly like your loop packs, I mean I know you say it's not a company, but it's your ones, man. They sound, I don't know, the quality, it's insane. Like I feel like without being but just you can almost eat those drums. Like they're so well done, man. They're unbelievable. In
Okay.
fact, like if any of those the listeners to the podcast, they haven't checked out Florian's the loop packs, just go listen to them. Some of the samples, they're just like, they're insane. They're so good. And I just wanted to ask you, because they sound very well produced, really well produced. I wanted to ask you, how much is live versus producing? So how much time do you spend miking up the drums and putting processing on the way in versus recording? And I'm just like spending loads of time like actually mixing those drum
Mhm.
those loop packs.
So there are two approaches. If one approach is the one that I described before, it's just like I'm doing something else, messing around with sounds or like working on a session, and then I end up like with a cool sound. And if it already sounds cool, I'm not gonna like change, even if there is some unorthodox things like in the way of placing mics or like tuning or something sounds weird. If it sounds great, I'm not gonna touch it. I'm just gonna like go with it.
Mm.
But in the second way, also when I because I've done like yeah, packs for like splice as well. Like when I go in and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do a sample pack. Um, of course, I always try to have it sound the closest to what I imagine mixed. I don't have like outboard gear. I do
Mm.
everything like
In the
it's
box.
in the Apollo.
Hmm.
So I really focus on like the tuning of the drums. There's usually a little bit of back and forth, like I tune the drums, I place the mics, I try different things, and then I start like processing. I put something on the drum bus, or I do something extreme to see like how it
Yeah.
reacts, and if I need to adjust things. But yeah, I tend to do less and less stuff like on
Mm.
the uh, the in the beginning when I started recording drums with my very first like studio in Paris, like setup and everything, what I would do is I would place the mics, record, then I would get home on my headphones and I would like solo each mic. I was like, kick mic. I want to do the best kick sound. Then snare mic. I want to do the best snare mics. And then I arrive like with the overheads and the phase is all fucked up. And it's great. It can work great depending on the sound you're going for, but it doesn't work for everything, so to say. Then later I went through a phase like when I got built my studio in south of France. I deleted all. I changed my computer. No plugins. Only Ableton stock plugins.
Oh wow! Okay.
So for period of time, I was only like, no stock plugins. I don't care. Even like for the production stuff that I do, sometimes I use like the Ableton like stock samples when I have to do like some prog or something like that, whatever. And after that, starting to have like clients. Like I remember for Angèle, she's like a Belgian artist, pretty big in Europe and everything. Like we worked on I worked with the producer on a record of her, and I was like not confident to send like process tracks. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna limit myself. I'm gonna try to like what I send as a bounce to the producer has to be as true to how it sounds unprocessed. So then I started just like, it sounds so stupid, but like just the level between the mics, like hi-hat mic, if it's like very, very low, it's okay. Like, and then just put a compressor on the drum bus and everything. So it changed my whole like approach to process and like feeling comfortable. It's okay if there are no plugins on like the kick, the kick track or something like that.
Okay.
And now I'm detaching myself from this a lot.
All right.
You know.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you when it comes to recording in general, like do you have like I mean, this is like a standard setup and of course there is no standard mic setup, but I've seen like on some of your videos, of course they keep changing the microphones. You seem to be a fan of the M160 microphone. It's a great mic, that one. But yeah, do you have like a go-to, let's say, setup?
Yeah. I mean, there are some things that never change in terms of miking, like the AKG D12 DR, the modern version of the D12 on the kick.
Yeah.
I tried. I'm still like sometimes thinking of getting another mic, like I mean, for the kick, for the bass drum, but honestly, like every time I tried, I was like, I don't know if I like having like two mics on the bass drum. Maybe it will change in the future. I don't know, but like this has been like my kick drum mic for like a few years now. On the snare top, like the Bayer M201, never changed. Like this on the bottom, I had like just got another 201 from Bayer, which I use on the bottom as well now. Sometimes I put like a 57. I don't really care about like the bottom
mic.
the bottom snare, bottom mic. On the toms, I've been using the Audix D2, D4, and depending on, I have a kick mic which I use on the floor tom, the Telefunken M82. This has been like, I've used them like for years and I never changed. Like, when I see like tom mics and everything, like I'm like, it's probably the last thing I would invest in. I don't know why. I know it's like always good to have like very cool mics for the toms and everything, but I feel like the way I process them and everything, I don't know. It just worked like this for me. Just got some M88 from Bayer. They sent, and I'm gonna like post some videos. Gonna like process like the toms with them and just like experiment, which sound really good. I haven't used them a lot yet because they just sent them to me. But so this is what almost never changes. And then the adjustable things.
Sorry, overheads.
Overheads. Honestly, like it depends.
Okay.
I love it. It really depends, like on the type of music. Like
Mm.
calls are always great. I think the more polyvalent, you said that polyvalent,
I think so.
the
Yeah, I
more
think yeah,
okay polyvalent.
yeah.
The KM1 84.
Oh yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
like
Okay.
a
Mm-hmm.
stereo overhead and
Yeah.
then a mono overhead. But I wouldn't like the stereo overhead for me. Like I would always have like a mono overhead, like a ribbon or something like that for like the
Okay.
really like the core. But
Yeah.
it really depends. Like also like a lot of my drum sounds, they're very close mic oriented.
Mm.
You know, it's very like punchy and everything.
Yeah.
So the yeah, it's more like if I do like rock stuff or like more
Sure.
acoustic, you know, very like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Do you use room mics at all, or just no room
yeah,
mics? Do you use room? Okay,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. I used to use the calls as room mics with this like
Mm-hmm.
the stereo bar.
Mm-hmm.
Sound great. But my room in LA, it's not very big, and I tend to have sometimes like some rumble thing like going on the low end, and I was like, oh, I can. It's not like I cue them and everything, but I like to change stuff all the time as well. So but recently I've been using this ORTF Superlux, which is a very uh, pretty cheap brand
Mm.
sold by Thomann in
Mm-hmm.
Europe,
Yeah.
and it's like it's my first pair of overhead, so it's RTF, like it's already like you don't have
Yeah.
to like I probably like bought it for like 130 euros 10 years ago, and it's great on in my room. It works great,
It
so I've been
works.
using this one like for room mics. M160, I just like did a comparison like with the mics that buyer sent me. It's
Mm.
very intrigued by the M130 that I never tried before. So I tried M130s and the M160 in room mics, and in the far position from the drums, like I prefer the M160. Might use
Mm.
them as well as room mics. Great
Oh,
mics.
okay. Yeah, they're so good. They're so good, man. I'm still wanted to buy them. Like, it's funny how, yeah, I looked them up when I started recording drums, and I was like, yeah, one day I'll buy them. Every time I look, like the price keeps
Yeah,
increasing because
man, it's
it's
crazy. The
such a,
price is insane now.
yeah. I
But
used to
if you
be very
buy
cheap.
because yeah, I think in the 400, 500 range. I think
Yeah, now,
like
now,
maybe
now
like
like, but
six.
before was really cheap. Like the M160
Wow.
was like, was one of those like high. They used to, I think, someone recommended to me like on the Hyatt. I was like, yeah, just I don't really record Hyatt, so I don't need it now. I'll buy it. And every year I kept looking at the price. And I was like, oh my god, this is gonna be
Yeah.
insanely expensive. But
I feel
yeah,
like hi-hat is also like another mic that I would like it's great to
avoid.
have like yeah, I mean, yeah.
Mm-mm.
When I was touring with Julien Doré, like the monitor guy, it was like I liked it. He had like a 57 on the hi-hat. I was like, why? It's gonna end up like filtered this way, sounding this way. So like why
Yeah,
bother like putting another mic on it? So I was like, yeah,
yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah, who cares?
And
Who cares? The hi-hat mic is always the one that hi-hat mic, and I guess bottom snare mics are the ones that.
well, it depends
No,
because
yeah,
when
of
I got
course,
like
yeah.
really, I had a very like disco phase, and I was like,
Mm.
I want to get this like mic, like very like, and yeah, still like figuring out like between the close mic, also is it the hi-hat bleed and the snare mic. Sometimes like I used to gate like everything. Nowadays sometimes I don't gate anymore. I like, oh,
Mm.
hi-hat sounds good in the snare mic, great, like
Yeah,
compression, like tape emulation.
yeah, yeah,
Voilà.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Let's leave it there. Let's leave it
It's
there.
you
Yeah,
gotta
yeah,
experiment, like don't
yeah, yeah, yeah. So, do you use Ableton to mix your projects, or Logic,
so
or
no, so
Roots?
I used to be a big Ableton guy until right before I moved to LA, because I was looking for a way to edit my drum loops faster, and in Ableton, I just like there's no tap to transient. There were a lot of like things that I was missing to edit, and it's so time consuming. Now I have someone that I hired to like edit them. Like he's also called like Florian. He's a drummer, stick drummer, living in LA, and he's French as
Ah.
well.
Oh, wow.
Crazy. And so like whatever, but it's very time consuming, and it was right by the time when UA released Luna.
Mm.
So I started using Luna. I don't know if you tried it,
Yeah,
but I was like,
it's amazing.
yeah, I'm using like because I'm the whole like ecosystem with like the UA pre's and everything. I was like, oh, I can do a very like high gain soft session, a few hours, and then change session and have like different gains, like all recall, like without having to like go back to console
Mm.
and recall like a different preset there. It's all like
It's all in there.
in the same thing in
Yeah, yeah,
Luna,
yeah.
and also like the tape emulation thing on the all the tracks that you can change the settings all at the same time, deactivate, bypass all the plugins with one button. I was like, oh, this is great. And also like just exporting multi-tracks. I know like probably like for people using Logic, Pro Tools, this sounds like so, you know, something normal, but in Ableton, you have to like click a button if you want to export like mono tracks, and if you have stereo tracks and the bus and everything. Like I was like, so I
It's too
use
much.
Luna for the drum recording production thing. I use Luna every time. I'm also considering starting like producing in Luna for stuff that it's not just like drum related. Uh, but I still use Ableton. Like for example, the projects that I do like full production, I would typically like start in Ableton, then do a bounce, record all the drums, percussion, do some like a little bit of processing, some maybe print some effects and everything in Luna, and then go back to Ableton and
Okay.
keep working in there.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Man, I wanted to ask you, like, your kick sounds. They, we need to talk about those kick sounds because every time I listen
Hmm.
to your loops, the one that strikes me the most, of course, is like Tom's, but kick sound is just like. Can you give us like an hint, like when you want to, let's say, create like punchy drums? Okay, so
Yeah.
in terms of EQ or processing, what's your approach when it comes to like EQing kick? Let's say I know it's like a very generic question, but
No, no, no. Well, so I have to say something. I remember, so I don't have like a lot of people coming in my studio, to like listen how it sounds and everything. But like when Alex came to LA
Mhm.
and we hang out in my studio, he sat on my drum kit and everything, and I think we talked about that as well.
Mm,
And I think it's like I think first it's the way it sounds like in the room, like
mm,
my kick, because I
yeah.
I often use the same one. It's a Heyman kick. It's very how do you say, like it's pretty dead most of the time. I don't um I don't do much, man. I don't.
Mm,
I always never compress the kick. It's like
okay.
it's really like EQ wise, I would do. So I'm the worst person. Like I couldn't like tell you like which frequencies I'm like
Uh,
cutting or anything. I just like go for it, like
yeah,
with
yeah.
like
Just
Pro
hear it.
Q4 or SSL. But the way I tend to do things, it's first I balance like every mics. I throw something on the drum bus. I try to see like how it sits in the music, and then I would go cut certain frequencies depending on how it reacts to what it's hitting in the drum bus.
Okay.
Especially when adding like saturation, that kind of stuff. Like if I like what the saturation is bringing, but it gets like messy, or there's a weird knock in certain frequencies, then I would like solo the
Mm,
kick mic and do some EQs in there.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Uh,
Okay. And
Honestly,
you
it's
use only the D12 VR, right? Like
only the
that's
D12. Yeah,
only
yeah.
that one.
Uh-huh.
Outside,
Yeah,
any
yeah.
positioning, any particular position that you like to use it,
No,
or
man. It's
just in
usually
front?
pretty loud in the mix.
Yeah, yeah,
That's, and depending on what's, on what's on the drum bus and everything, that's what it's loud.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
so
yeah,
you know, that's
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, because it's exactly,
and
it's
it
very punchy, it's very much in your face, and you're like, oh my god, what's this is especially
yeah,
for I guess like pop productions it
yeah.
fits so well. It just like literally when you hear it, you're like, oh wow, okay, that's it's not just snare.
Mhm.
It's you kind of hear
Yeah,
you feel it.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, which is
Yeah,
great.
well, I honestly, it's not that I want to like, how do you say, like gatekeep or like
No, no,
keep
no,
like
no.
that I don't want to tell. It's just like
Yeah, yeah,
it's I think it's one of the things with like mixing tutorials and everything. Sometimes it's hard to 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 know what's the way of thinking of a mixer or someone like in sound and everything. I think this is just like how I hear it. Like
yeah,
it's more like a sensation, the way that it excites me.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
but there is no like trick. I mean, I do sometimes put the voice of God or the R bass on the kick drum,
oh, okay, okay.
to add some very like sub, but it also usually when I do that, it comes off like an hour later. I'm like way too much like
Mm,
low end in the kick, because then I want maybe a little pull tech on the drum bus,
mm, 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 mm.
like to boost like but it's usually enough. Like I don't go down the rabbit hole on the kick,
Yeah.
like on the individual mics anymore. I do that later if I need to, depending
Okay.
on how everything sits with percussions, with the music, and first I try to like go very fast,
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
something that gets me moving and everything, and then
Mm.
I go more cerebral, but I'm
Okay.
not like doing
Yeah,
this
yeah.
from the very beginning.
Yeah, yeah. No, in fact, I also wanted to ask you this because like you do remote recording as well, and I
Yeah,
wonder, like, what's your approach? Let someone sends you a track, and he goes like, Florian, you can do anything you want. We trust you. How do you know what fits? Because I know you, as you said, you were saying you had percussions, you had layers.
yeah.
How did you vision or envision like the song, how it's going to be? I guess of course you go with the producer mindset, but yeah, what's your approach when you have a song?
It's a hard question because
It
I
depends,
do
I
feel
guess.
like it's yeah, it do. I feel like it's similar from like like so now I'm doing like more like full production and everything, like for this project Mr. Fantasy and another project Evangeline Charlotte, which is also French. But like when I get the tracks, sometimes I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do like drums, like they're gonna. I have a whole plan in my head, being like, okay, no cymbals, probably toms are gonna be recorded separately. Oh, I want a very like washy hi-hats, but I don't want to play loud. This is all gonna be like the compression, and maybe I can do this with the room mics, and this I have like some sort of like retro engineering in my head, which actually is the strength of being a drummer, engineer, producing, because it's all in the same brain,
Mm, mm,
and
mm,
it's
mm,
what people are looking for, instead of like
mm.
just like hiring an engineer, a drummer. Can the
Okay.
drummer tune the drums how we want it to, and the producer how it's gonna be mixed and everything? It's all in the same person, so it's a gain of time when it's on point for the when the vision is right. And sometimes it's like the same, almost the same feeling as you go on stage and you have the fear of like forgetting your drum part, or like to get lost and everything. Sometimes I get that as well, and now I'm like just like I don't give a shit. I'm like
Mm.
I
Yeah,
go in
yeah.
the studio and I sit there and I open something and I just start doing something, and then eventually I don't judge myself. I'm trying some stuff,
Okay.
and I know that some
You-
stuff is not gonna stay, you
you
I
start
go
normally
direction.
from drums, or do you go like, okay, let's, I don't know, let's do the claps, or just do the
No, I
shakers
start.
first?
Um, well,
Of course, it depends on
unless
every song,
there's
but yeah,
unless there's something very specific in the production, like for example, a drum machine that's gonna stay the whole through the whole song. Like I try to feel like to get if I get stems and they sound like a lot like a demo or something like that, I want to get excited. So I maybe it doesn't happen often. Sometimes I do some EQs, some just to make it like feel like, ooh, I want to play drums to this, and I want to like you know. But it's like it's more like trying to understand the feeling of the song, like also where is it heading in terms of energy, and how what is the energy I'm gonna tune in for this song? Is it gonna be like I'm gonna like and
yeah,
it's
yeah.
important like oh man,
Do you
it's a
ask for
hard question.
reference? Did you ask for reference tracks
No,
to
no,
the artist? No, okay. So you
no,
come up with your
no,
own thing.
because
Okay.
yeah, and also I mean I feel like lucky that people that trust me for my taste for what they send, and sometimes they don't know, and so I'm like, well, if you don't know, I'm gonna go for what I feel. I'm not gonna fight like for what I want to do naturally. And
Yeah.
it doesn't like sometimes you think like, yeah, maybe he's not gonna like this and everything. No, 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 fuck that. Like just go for like what you feel is right. Your first
Mm,
inspiration. You can always adjust after if it's a little bit too extreme or something like that. And like honestly, like it always works out great. And
mm.
sometimes people have it's already the intention is set with the demo drums most of the times as well. Being like, unless they tell me like I want something totally different, I don't like this in the demo drums. I can already hear in the demo. I'm like, oh, I can see he built the track around this loop or these sounds. I can see the intention he's trying to like to hit the emotion with these drums, and
Yeah.
I think I can recreate it in a slightly different way. It's often not. It's more about sound than the playing as well. So it's
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
that's what
yeah.
I spend a lot of time on. It's honestly 10% of the time I play drums, and 90% I'm like just
Coming up with ideas and just seeing what works and
yeah,
what
just
doesn't.
processing. I spend a lot of time like when I send the first version, it sounds like already like it's mixed. It's like my goal is that the person listen to it and doesn't have to think like, oh, when it's gonna be mixed, it's gonna sound better than the demo drums. It has to sound. It already has to sound like 10 times better. Uh, you know,
Nice. Yeah, yeah. Alex
that's
was exactly the same. He was telling me the same. He's trying to get the client to hear the project as close as to the to the mix, to the final mix. So yeah, yeah, yeah. So
yeah, and it's
at the
really
end, do you send both? Do you send like how do you say, mixed and raw, or you just like, you know what, this is what you guys gonna get? And
no, what I do now, I mean it has changed the past few years. Um, Usually there used to be I used to give the option like send the raw like drum takes and the process drum takes. Now what I do is like we define like the way we're gonna work together with the client. Like if it's drum production. So
mm,
I send the tracks processed and I ask them to credit me like as a additional production because
okay,
that's what it is. And if they want like the unprocessed tracks, I can send the unprocessed tracks as well, and then they don't have to like credit me
yeah,
for that. But it's
yeah,
like the whole credit thing is a whole like topic
yeah.
because
No,
there's a lot of ego
absolutely.
involved in everything. But I don't I think it's really fair because a lot of producers now experience that in like commercial studios. Like I had like experiences where you spend hours like tuning the drum kit, like placing the mics and everything. It's recorded really well with a sick engineer, and
Mhm.
then the producers, which have all the tracks, they don't know how to mix like
Yeah.
acoustic drums. It ends up like with a lot of like sound replacement, which is, I respect the choice, and
Right.
of course,
Yeah.
but and yeah, but
Yeah.
I think now, especially like since like the drums thing, and also getting people to like trust me more, and also like just like more recognition from like stuff I worked on, I feel more comfortable saying like
Yeah.
people come for the sound, not really like for the playing.
Yeah.
Not, I mean, it's all together, but
Together. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know,
But they're
yeah,
like, well, I want that, Florian kind of
yeah,
sound.
and
Then I
it's not
guess.
like I'm not I'm not gonna like you know, I don't want to stop working until like the person has hears. That's what I was saying before, like with the demo drums and everything. Like my intention when I work is everything goes towards like how it's gonna sound finished. Like
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
doesn't make sense for me to send something that's not processed, or that don't have the very aggressive compression on the rooms and everything. If it's too much, I can send like like I give a lot of there are a lot of options in the folder that I send. The multi-track, the bus process, the effects are separate as well. So
Nice.
it's not
Nice.
like they're gonna end up with something like it's too crazy. We're not gonna
Yeah.
be able to mix. And by the way, some of the bands I work with, like just like to name one, like this band called Camilo Septimo. They're like a Mexican band. They're like kind of like Kings of Leon of like
Oh,
Mexico, like
nice.
huge there. And when we worked together, I talked to the mixer when the same came out, and he was like, "We used your drum bus. It's like stereo track at the drum bus in the mix. I wanted some more like reverb on the snare, so I just took like the snare mic from the multi-track, added a reverb on it, like blended it with the drum bus, and that's it. So I was like, totally makes sense to ask like for production credit, because so in this drum bus like gated
Yeah.
reverbs, it's the whole
Yeah.
the way the drum hits and everything, like
Yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
kind of mixed already.
It's a massive part. It's a massive part of the song. It's a huge part of the song. So yeah, you definitely need credits for that for sure. Man, I wanted to ask you like because you were saying about drum tuning. If you have any drum tuning tips, so what's your approach when it comes to drum tuning? Because I know some people they're very scientific about it. Some people they're more like I just hear it and it works. So what's your approach with drum tuning?
Yeah, I this is like something I'm obsessed with since, honestly, like I'm my first studio experience, because it was driving me crazy uh that I couldn't understand why my drums wouldn't translate through the mics like as I was hearing them in the room, like and then that's what got me into like compression, saturation, EQ, like listening to like Phoenix and being like, I want to have the same drum sound, and
Mm.
not you know also having like sound engineers sometimes that are very like how do you say, patronizing,
Mm-hmm.
how do you
Yeah,
say
yeah.
that,
Patronizing.
with
Yeah,
you being like, because some drummers don't know how to tune their kits, so and there are a lot of like engineers that are very good with like tuning drum kits, and also sometimes overly confident about it because they assume that the drummer don't know how to
doesn't
do
know.
it. That
Yeah.
happened to me as well, being like, man, that's how I want whatever. But yeah, I used to be like very
Obsessed.
honestly like obsessed with dampening, like the snare having the same like tension everywhere and everything, and just the same way as I now do with plugins, with like either not using any plugins or just like going crazy with the exaggerate something and then dial it back. And with the drum tuning, it's a little bit the same. Like I don't. It's also because I've been doing it so much, but I don't think about it too much anymore. Sometimes just like a lug, like go very
Yeah,
fast.
I
I
saw
try
you don't
different
put
stuff.
much you don't put much dampening on your drums. Like it's funny when I see
Oh
your
yes, I do.
videos. Oh, you put yeah,
It's the
okay,
root
okay, okay.
CQ. It's the root CQ.
Ah,
It's like
okay.
something that goes on the head.
Mm-hmm.
Sick product. Root CQ. I recommend it
Roots
for
AQ.
the
Okay.
the Yeah, it's
Nice.
like it's very light dampening on the whole head instead of like
Okay.
having like a t-shirt or something. It's a different sound, but it's like big part of my sound.
Okay.
But
Nice.
typically I would tune the drums with the dampening on when I do like very like
Ah,
dampen
okay.
uh,
Yeah,
because
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and because yeah, usually when you know, for example, very dead toms like it doesn't make sense for me to I mean you could like have the tom being very dampen it and being like, oh, it's not resonating a lot, like take the dampening off, like make it more resonant, put the dampening, and I usually put the dampening on and then I try to make it like more resonant or less resonant with like the reso head. And then when you put the dampening off, it sounds crazy, but when it's on, like it's great.
It's great.
um
That's so cool. Do you tune a specific pitch or just like the pitch of the song? Do you do that?
I, I
No.
n-
Okay.
I it depends. Like I would do that with rototoms when I play like rototoms on the song, like to have it like kind of like play a melody. For the bongos, I would do the same, congas as well, and like the toms. Like weirdly enough, I think I do it like unconsciously, like when I start, like if it doesn't feel right, but I'm not like being like, oh, I'm gonna do this interval. Like I think it's just like some part of it is just it's not conscious anymore, which makes it
Okay.
hard like to communicate to someone. It's because there's some stuff that I do without even thinking about it, but
Yeah.
I'm not thinking like, oh, this song is in this key, I'm gonna tune the tom like this.
Sure.
And I know some people go crazy with like the bass drum also, like when it's very damped, like it's different, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. For
um
sure.
yeah.
Nice, 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 nice.
Hmm.
Matt, we normally end the episode every time with like a 10 rapid fire questions. Is that all right with you? Do you have
Okay.
um so number one is top three albums for best drum sound.
Shit.
This
uh
is the worst one. This is the
I
hardest
did
one.
I didn't think
Just like, and this changes to me at least
uh,
every day. So feel free to just like what today.
ah
What do you feel like? It's
mm, bro, man, it's a hard question. Well, I would say like Phoenix, Wolfgang Amadeus Phoenix. Love this
great album.
album. uh Shit, man. Sorry, this is hard for me. It's so hard. So many,
No,
so
I know, I
many
know. It's fine. It's fine. You
things.
don't have to say all three if you want. Like even just one, it's
Yeah, the Dead Weather. I think it's HOREHOUND. Horhound. I don't know how to pronounce it.
or hound. Okay, yeah,
Very
yeah,
like
yeah.
super resonant, like Jack White on the drums.
Wow,
Crazy
nice.
drum sound.
Oh, awesome.
Um, and then probably a James Brown album, but I couldn't say like which one now. Okay,
Yeah,
sorry,
yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
was took
No, no,
took
no,
me a
no.
while. So
That's
it's
cool. No,
probably
no, no.
gonna
It's fine.
regret this because there's so many.
No,
But
no, no. Don't worry, don't worry, don't worry. Number two is favorite part of your job.
favorite part of my job. I enjoy having the freedom, like spending like time on my own, getting in, a spirit and like deliver something that I feel super excited about, and like getting the feedback from
Nice.
the artist or the producer. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. That's so cool. And then what's the worst part of your job?
Worst part of my job is there. Like since I have a management, the worst part is gone now. I don't have to talk
Ah,
like to follow up for payments and everything. People are pretty respectful.
nice.
Uh, and when they're not, just don't work with them.
That's it.
Simple as
Easy,
that. Like
easy.
keep like respectful people, work with like cool, respectful people,
Nice.
inspiring. You know, just yeah.
That's awesome, man. Number four is piece of gear you cannot do without when recording drums at the moment.
Uh, Ludwig Acrolite.
Yes. Oh my God, such a good one. Number 5 is a dream artist you would love to record for.
Uh, Dream artist I would love to record for. Shit. Very good question. Well, Phoenix, maybe.
Phoenix,
Phoenix?
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah, Phoenix.
they're great. They're
Like,
great. Yeah.
yeah.
Number 6 is what plugins you normally use on your drum bus.
The Studer A800.
Nice.
Always.
Always. Yeah.
Always. I mean, the Pro Q4 doesn't count, right?
No, it counts.
Because it's
Anything on your
everywhere.
drum bus is.
It counts?
Yeah.
Should I
Why
give
not? Yeah.
one? Or like, okay,
No.
okay. One.
You can give as many as you want, as many as you have on your drum bus, really. So, all good.
Yeah. It depends. But these are always there.
Always there. Nice. 7. What is a book or video tutorial that you would recommend for that you found helpful in learning how to record drums?
Mixing Drums by Eric Valentine. Making Records with Eric Valentine. The video called Mixing Drums. Sick video.
So
And
funny, yeah.
the book, like the Sylvia Massey book, is great. Recording Techniques Unhinged. Anything that would balance the overwhelm of videos you could watch on the internet telling you like do this. Like it's so many knowledge there. You need to like get in like some sort of like spirit and like focus and like experiment, and like the method is important, but also like just like fuck the method is also like important.
do
Like
your thing.
get in the spirit and find do the labor. I don't know if the labor is the right word, but like get like to someone who like is forging something,
Yeah, for sure. What who's your inspiration when it comes to recording drums? It could be like a drummer or a producer or
yeah, it used to be very, I mean, Sean Everett, very inspiring. Like just like I bought like some I went on another rabbit hole on his like I saw like one of the Big Thief songs he recorded with like how do you say contact mic on the neck of the singer.
yeah. I saw that.
I was like
Oh,
crazy.
that's insane.
And like some AirPods, also like the ones with the wires on the hi-hat. I bought like on eBay bought 2 like that I haven't tried like but whatever. Yeah, Sean Everett, Philips Da, rest in peace, like sick like producer, mixer, artist. Sam Evian, I love Sam Evian's productions. I'd recommend to check out. Big M160 fan as well. Like very very cool sounds and beautiful music. There are probably many more, but yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, of course. Yeah. 9 is best advice you've ever received.
I don't know how it translates in English, but I don't know how to translate it, but it's it sounds very dumb, but just like go crazy.
Okay.
Go crazy.
Yeah.
Go crazy.
Is there a way in French? Is there a way in French to say it?
It's just like a friend of my grandmother told me once, like he came to me. He was like, so what do you want to do in your life and everything? I was like, yeah, I want to do like music and everything. It's like, il faut être fêlé. You gotta be like, you gotta be fucked up in a way. Like, but like, it was an advice. It was not a comment on my, me wanting to do that. It was just like, go crazy. Like, follow your gut. Like,
nice.
That's
so cool. Nice.
Don't be too precious.
Yeah. Just go for it. Nice. Yeah. Number 10 is worst advice you've ever received.
I don't know. Worst advice. I don't know, man.
No, that's fine.
I had someone I had someone like being like, yeah, like someone like doubting the fact that I should like put out my sample packs because you know they might be used on like big stuff and that I wouldn't get like credit about it. And I was like, I don't care. Like if it gets used on like big stuff, it's
So
great,
what?
you know.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah, yeah,
don't just like
yeah,
do
yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
Go
yeah.
for it.
Nice, nice, nice. And last
That's
is,
it.
is there a piece of advice that you would give to a young and aspiring musician? It was to do exactly what you do. Is there something that you
Mm.
would advise to them?
Um, um, Surround yourself with like ambitious
Mm,
people that are lift you up, that that are better than you as well. This is sick. Like just like you know
yeah,
talented people like that know better than you. This is
yeah,
the best. Like when you're with people that are talented, ambitious, and that you know have a vision, and this is very inspiring. And yeah, I think like try to be respectful, nice to people. You never know who you're gonna like. Sometimes you meet people, you're gonna cross path with them again, or they will be connected to someone you're gonna meet in the future. This happens to me like so many times like especially in the last years, like in LA. Like the world, it's a small world.
yeah,
And you wanna there are a lot of like good um good musicians, good producers, good everything and everything. But it's also about like the spirit, how you want to do things. It's not what you do, but how you do them, in which how you care, what's the atmosphere with the people you work with, and this is something. This is what people will remember. Like,
mm,
of course, like your skills and everything, but also just having a good time and
nice,
be
nice.
excited. And this is what brings. That's the whole point of doing it, I think.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure, 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 sure. Nice, nice, nice. Man, that was great. That was great. Is there any projects that you can share? I mean, feel free, of course, to if you don't want to, but is there any project that you would like to share that is coming out soon or anytime soon?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, check out the Mr. Fantasy project. It's wild. It's like
So,
it's very the image, like the way it's presented. So it's a whole persona. It's very funny. It's very not serious in a way, but the music is deadly serious. And we are like producing the album right now. And yeah, it's the third single just dropped. I have like Corey Wong play guitar on it, like Fred Dupont, sick
no.
best like Moog bass Moog player, like incredible musicians gonna like participate to project. Just like super invested in this project. I don't want just want to do like the best music with him, and they're big music fans. And yeah, I think it's gonna
It's
having a
gonna
lot of
be
fun.
good,
So
man.
check it out. Like if you
Nice, nice,
yeah,
nice. Is there where is the best place for people to find you? Is it Instagram or
Instagram.
your website as well? I saw your website is great, man. It just got everything in there, and
Thank you.
yeah,
Well, it's
nice.
yeah, the website is more like to present like stuff in more like formal way and my drum loop packs and everything. But yeah, Instagram always, like
Nice.
if people want to get in touch or I've been talking about like maybe do a Patreon like thing, like
Yeah, yeah,
like do tutorials and everything, but it's like very time consuming as well. I mean, I haven't even started, but it's just like, but
yeah.
always uh, when I reached out to people and had like encouragement and everything, or I don't know, just like questions. So if like it's always good to like be in touch with people,
100%.
to maybe can
Yeah,
spark
yeah, yeah, yeah.
something. I don't know.
Yeah, 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 for sure, for sure. Man, this was absolutely phenomenal, man. There is so much good stuff in here. I'm sure like the listeners will love this episode. So thanks so much, man, for your time. I really
I
appreciate
hope
it.
so.
And man, have a great
Thank you.
day because in LA it's still morning. So enjoy your day, mate.
Yeah,
All right.
it's 12 now.
Just yeah,
Thank
okay.
you, man.
Lunchtime. All right. Great to see you, man.
Lunchtime. Yeah, great to
Nice
see
one.
you.
Cheers.